One day, in less than 24 hours, I had visited the hospitals in our neighborhood of Boston 5 times. And all my visits had been with dying patients requesting either the anointing of the sick or a final anointing before they died. And ironically, each encounter had been deeply life-giving for me. My last visit was very early in the morning. It was a man who had terminal cancer. And at one point he said to me, "Could you give me some hints on how I should prepare to die? What should I do to make myself more ready for death?" It was a good question. How many of you have ever asked yourself this question? How do I prepare to die? How do I live so that death does not catch me unaware? What do we do so that we don't leave this world with too much unfinished business? The first thing that I said to this young man was that in preparing for death, one thing that we should not do is distance or separate ourselves from life and from others. We don't prepare for death by withdrawing from life. The opposite is true. What prepares us for death, anoints us for it, is a deeper, more intimate, fuller entry into life. We get ready for death by living our lives as we should by living them all along. And how do we do that? One of my favorite spiritual writers, John Shea, once suggested that the kingdom of heaven is open to all who are willing to sit down with anyone. It sounds like the perfect recipe for discipleship. Basically, what he's saying is that the single condition for going to heaven is to have the kind of heart and the kind of openness that makes it possible for us to sit down with absolutely anyone and to share life and a table with him or her. So if that's true, then the best way we can prepare to die is to begin to stretch our hearts to love ever wider and wider. To begin to love in a way that takes us beyond the narrowness and the discrimination that exists within our hearts because of temperament, wounds, timidity, ignorances, selfishness, race, gender, religion, circumstance, and our place in history. Father John Powell, in his book Unconditional Love, tells the story of a young student who was dying of cancer, and in his final stages of the illness, he came to Father Powell and said something to this effect. "Father, you once told us something in class that has made it easier for me to die young. You said there are only 2 potential tragedies in life, and dying young isn't one of them. These are the 2 tragedies. 1, if you go through life and don't love. Or 2, if you go through life and you don't tell those whom you love that you love them." People asked the young man, "What's it like being 24 years old and dying?" And he told them, "It's not so bad. It beats being 50 years old and having no values." We prepare ourselves for death by loving deeply and by expressing love and appreciation and gratitude to each other, as we hear St. Paul exhorting the Ephesians today. Had that man that morning in the hospital met Jesus and asked him the same question he asked me, I suspect Jesus would have said, "Prepare for death by living more fully now. Work at loving more deeply, less discriminately, more affectionately, and more gratefully. Tell those close to you that you love them and death will never catch you like a thief in the night." When I pray the Hail Holy Queen or sing the Salve Regina, I always have a tendency to slow down at the words, "Turn then, most gracious Advocate, your eyes of mercy towards us." And after this our exile, show unto us the blessed fruit of your womb, Jesus. For me, it's a prayerful plea of hope. It reminds me of my mission now in life. I'm asking Mary to help me experience the abundance of God's mercy while I walk this valley of tears, striving to show this same mercy to others so that when I die, I will see the one from whom all mercy flows, Jesus Christ. Ea ergo advocata nostra, illos tuos, misericordes oculos, ad nos converte. Et Iesum benedictum fructum ventris tui, nobis post hoc exilium ostende. O clemens, O pia, O dulcis.